Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 7th of June 2025. Putin humiliated and so retaliated after his air bases are infiltrated and his prized bombers are detonated, some obliterated. The world is fascinated as Trump and Musk get aerated, having separated with their egos even more inflated. Britain's defence spending to be elevated. Reform's chairman's seat is vacated, but Yusuf is soon reintegrated. It was outrageous, incredibly courageous, an attack in meticulously planned stages, mapped out on the drawing board for ages, deep into the bowels of Russia, so audacious. It will go into the military history book pages, and it threw Putin into the mother of all rages. Operation Spiderweb involved an attack on Russia's bomber fleet parked on the tarmac. Strategic bombers ready to do their worst, on standby when needed to sate Putin's bloodthirst. Now a third of them blown up on June the 1st by a complex operation that went as rehearsed. From as far as 5,000 kilometers from Kyiv, such precise drone strikes were hard to believe. Some of the planes may one day be back in the air, but many are probably beyond repair. Trump kept his distance, long distance, calling Russia to gauge the reaction of Vlad, his old mucker. There wasn't much reported on the outcome of the 2-hour chat between Trump and his chum. Clearly he's still very much under Putin's thumb as more and more splinters pierce his bum. By the end of the week, the inevitable backlash came as Putin's wrath was felt right across Ukraine. Going after women, babies and children with a manic desire to disfigure and kill them. His mental derangement once more to the fore, claiming it was Ukraine who wanted more war. And with Putin clearly gone do-lally, the West can't dilly-dally or shilly-shally. On Tuesday, Defence Secretary John Healey announced Britain's defence spending will rise yearly. The Defence Spending Review spelt out clearly this decade our budget has to reach nearly 3% of the national GDP from its current level of 2.3%. Sunday the 1st of June 2025. That's how long disposable vapes survived. From that day in the UK, they are to be no more. Retailers who sell them will be breaking the law. They'll face fines, even prison. But what's it all for? To end the environmental damage and eyesore. But also to help young people in escaping the slippery slope towards smoking and vaping. So the egos finally landed, making quite a din, caused by an unedifying desire to win. Musk and Trump's battle wasn't face to face, but instead their war of words virtually took place. In their own social media personal space, X and Truth the battlefield to argue their case. The world's most powerful men going head to head with an ego-charged escalatory thread. For some time both dudes had started to brood and people were sensing a darkening mood, and as the feud brewed, most observers construed it was just a matter of time before the bile was spewed. It had been just 7 days since their parting of ways, with smiles and compliments and mutual praise, but on Thursday peace was shattered across the world, with threats, insults and accusations being hurled. Trump threatened to put his Tesla car up for sale and have Musk derailed with his state contracts curtailed. Musk said Trump should be impeached and that he'd seen evidence linking him with Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, it was also being reported that there were moves to have Musk deported. Such an inevitable eventuality that two such oversized personalities would clash with such ugly emotionality as soon as there was a viewpoint disparity. So what caused this earth-shattering bust-up leading to the unseemly digital dust-up? It seems Trump's big beautiful bill was the straw that broke Musk's back, and he could take no more. For him, the bill undid all his great Doge work. The thought of such huge spending sent him berserk. Maybe there was just something in the air, because in the UK next day, a similar affair, trouble arising for a right-leaning party with a shock fallout amongst the hierarchy. The reasons remain quite inconclusive for the resignation of Zia Yusuf. The Reform UK chairman just suddenly quit. Observers wondered what to make of it. Although Wednesday's PMQs may offer a clue, with Reform's newest MP making her debut, Sarah Pochin almost got the PM in a stew by asking a question right out of the blue. She may have been new, but she obviously knew her question would cause a bit of a to-do. But banning the burqa, in Yusuf's view, is something even Reform hasn't agreed to do. On Saturday, though, came a dramatic U-turn. Yusuf would return, but the party had been burned. The hoo-ha had caused an unwelcome deflection from their good showing in the Hamilton by-election. Last week, Thames Water looked to have found a solution to their flood of problems of supply and pollution. On Tuesday, though, it was looking once more like their troubles never rain, they only pour. US firm KKR had pulled the plug, so to speak, on the £4 billion rescue deal leaked last week. Urgent cash flow, Thames Water must now once more seek.